Hi guys, Fuzz here, and welcome back to a brand new episode for Final Fantasy VIII. So we're now back with Squall's party, having dealt with the threat of the missile base with Selfie and her comrades in the last episode. As always, please don't forget, if you want to support me, just hit that like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Without any further ado, let's head on in and see what's going down in Balam Garden. And we get this exciting music, which is already telling us that perhaps something isn't right. And if you haven't already, don't forget at the end of the last episode I recommended that you head back to Balam Town for a brief detour to sort the Queen of Cards out with the rules and whatnot, but in particular the trade rule of having that set to all. And if you haven't got the Queen of Cards in Balam Town, then you probably haven't been following the walkthrough where I told you to make sure that she came here next. Not much we can do about that now, I'm afraid, though, so let's just carry on with the actual episode. And this garden faculty guy here is being very stern. Right then, so we're going to go and speak to him now. Oh, I got a bit of an achievement for that. Go. 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 I think we're annoying him yet. Anyway, we're going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going all the way into the garden until we get stopped. We're going to select I don't get it. And we get a tremendously tough battle now, so be ready for it. Well, maybe not quite as tough as I led you to believe. If this is all these faculty folks have to scare us with, then it's not going to be a particularly challenging fight, is it? And with that battle over and done with, we're going to just head on in further to the garden. And there's someone sitting on the floor here. We can speak to them a couple of times and we'll get a nice item. A mega potion. And now there's nothing else for us to do here, so we can just head on into the actual garden itself. One thing you're going to notice, sadly, is that the save point is gone. I don't know why. That can be so mean with save points in this game. But it's gone, so... So there's a lot of definite strange stuff going on here, isn't there? Perhaps not quite what we was expecting when we made our return here. There seems to be some kind of coup going on with these garden faculty. I never did trust those guys. Right, okay. So we now have the challenge of visiting the whole garden pretty much and clearing it out of enemies. A couple of things to note. First of all, the elevator is not in use, so we can't use that, and neither is the directory, so we're going to have to run around manually. And if anybody asks you whether you're with the headmaster, then always say that you are, or if you want to help, then say yes, you do. So first of all, we're going to head into the library here. And we're just basically going to make our way around. The enemies that we do have to fight are relatively weak. Except in the case of the training centre where we have to face a T-Rex or... But we're going to fight them in the usual way, which is putting Blizzard onto elemental attack and sleep and slow onto status attacks. And then you can either use magics and keep it asleep, or you know, your GF Shiva, or just beat it down quickly. Okay, we need to speak to one of these. Might be this girl here, actually. So, you only get this reward if Zell's in your party, which is the reason I told you to bring him. A Mega Phoenix. If you don't have Zell, then you get a remedy instead when you speak to this girl. But that's the library sorted. So let's move on to the next area. And it's pretty much going to be the same routine, so this is the training centre now. So just before we go in, I'm going to just make sure that we're junctioned appropriately as I suggested. And these good-for-nothing faculties are after the poor kids too. So I'm probably just going to beat the T-Rex or down with physical, seeing as how Squall should do quite a nice amount of damage in all honesty, even though these guys have a tremendous amount of hit points and health. Quistis will probably send it to sleep, but it's going to wake up again, so I'm not going to be too concerned about that. It probably doesn't help with the fact that my Squall is now level 28, which is quite high. So that health will be boosted up a little bit, but there we go. Look, 3 hits and it's dead. And with Quistis periodically sending it to sleep, it didn't quite get an attack off either, which is useful. Don't forget those dino bones can be modded down into quakes. Quake magic, 1 dino bone equals 20 quakes, which is quite useful. So remedies are reward for this place. Next, I believe, is the parking lot. And this time we are going to be facing a Grendel. This guy should be going down now. Not quite as tough as the T-Rex or as those fellas, but still have fair amounts of health, so don't underestimate them. And we should be able to pick our reward up. Tent. And next we're going to head to the dorms. Now the good thing about this one is that our reward isn't a material item, but something different, and it actually takes the form of a save point and a rest area. Our GFs are getting nicely powered up now as well, especially with the abilities they're learning. So you can rest in the bed, I don't need to, and save your game. Okay, so we've got 3 more areas to clear now. The cafeteria is next. So we'll just speak to this fellow, I'm sure he's going to be friendly, or not, as the case it turns out to be. Now, this is a little bit interesting in the sense that you get to fight a bomb. Now, this is only interesting if you've managed to get a high-level bomb, because if you have, you can draw Fire and Meltdown, the latter of which is super awesome for junctioning to your Vitality. It's one of the best magics in the game to do so. So I would recommend that if you have scored at a high enough level, that you just spend a little bit of time drawing Fire and Meltdown on your characters. Okay, once you've killed the bomb, and the sad thing about the high level bombs is they do like to cast suicide, so you're probably not going to get a lot of draws out of them in all honesty. Just find the right person to speak to. Hey, we get a hot dog reward. But we don't get any hot dogs today, sadly. But if we speak to the girl again, we do get a Geisha Greens instead. So with that reward collected, it's now on to the next area, which is the quad, I believe. So on to the next screen. And there might be another bomb to fight in the squad, although it's a little bit more random with what you get. Sometimes you don't even get a fight here, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so we didn't get a fight this time, so we get the X potion as our reward. The reward's actually always fixed, but if you do get a fight, it'll be with either a bomb or glacial eye. Neither of which should be particularly challenging for you. But now we only have one more area to clear. And of course, that is down south here, the final section that we have not yet visited, which is the infirmary. If you remember, that's where Squall woke up earlier on. So we can either get a caterpillar, whatever they're called, or a Granaldo. Now, in our case, it's been the latter. Couple of status magics you might want to look at taking, but that all depends on what you need, really. The wizard stones are pretty good, though, since they refine into high level magic. Our little fella went to sleep. Okay, so we'll speak to the good doctor here, who's been really quite brave, it's got to be said. Speak, there we go. And we get an elixir. So one of the best items in the game in terms of healing. Right, so with all these areas cleared, now we're going to head back to the main hall. It doesn't matter, by the way, what order you clear those in. But whatever order you do it in, once you're finished, just come back to this bit here. And we can actually head up now to where Zoo is. Looks like the lift's back in action. And we're going to head to the end of the hallway here. That should trigger another scene for us. Okay, so Zoo's going to trust us blindly, even though we know we could be assassins working for the garden master, and she's just given us free access to go and see the headmaster. Anyway, we need to head back to the elevator to proceed with the story, and that will take us to Sid's office. Anyway, when you can control your party leader again, you just need to keep speaking to Sid, and eventually he's going to give us a mission. Okay, so it sounds like we're on a bit of a no idea what we're going to actually be doing mission. We can access a secret part of Garden, and apparently we're going to be finding a control system. Well, that's what the goal is anyway, which should hopefully provide us a means of getting out of the mess that we're into. And one thing you're going to probably want to do is just junction everybody with fire onto their elemental attack. And now we're actually going to head down to this secret place that the elevator can actually take us to. The MD level. Oh, wonderful. The elevator's broken. Okay. Well, we need to head down this hatch here. But before we do that, we just need to find out that the controls aren't responding. So we will be getting some enemy encounters, but so long as you junction fire to attack, then you should be good to go. Another hatch for us to go down. And now Squall is going to become strategic, telling us what element the enemies are weak against. Oh, I wonder what happens if you choose that you don't have that ability. Maybe I'll tell you, oh well, we're Scrooge, then may as well head back. And then we come to yet another ladder. Squall doesn't want to jump on. Come on. Sometimes the controls in this game can be just a little bit fiddly, unfortunately. Right, and if we come over to this valve thing and examine it, then we're going to have to do our best to turn it. And it tells us what button we need to press. You can't do it, sadly, through this first phase. So it doesn't matter if you fail, really. But you will fail, it's guaranteed. You just can't hit the button fast enough. So now a new character's going to come. And you can still fail this, and if so, Quistis will come. And now we'll just have to do it over and over until we get it. There we go. And now we can head over to the next section. Oh no, before we do that we need to, we can't go over that way, we need to head back this way. And that's opened up the way for a ladder for us. Another ladder that Squall won't jump on. There he goes. And now we can just basically run across this metal gantry. And we emerge in quite a large area now, and there's a draw point over on this side, which we can actually draw a nice new magic from, which you're not going to have at the moment, or probably not going to have, called Full Life. But because it's so rare, we need to make sure that we use the character that has the highest magic stat. And I'm guessing that's going to be Quistis. So we need to make sure that there's nothing else that can boost her stat up even higher. And I don't think there will be. And we just need to make sure she's got the abilities on that also boost her magic stat. Hopefully we'll get a nice amount. 8, okay, it's about half of the maximum. The maximum is 15, but you could also get 1 or 2, so I suppose we can live with that for now. And we'll just put her abilities back to how they were. And now we just need to carry on going around until we see a ladder. Okay, so we'll choose the top option here. Although it only ends up with one of our characters going. Okay, and now we have this control panel here, or computer. And all we need to do again is examine the ladder. Lots of ladders in this area, isn't there? Okay, and now we've got this flashing light thing here, so we're going to run up to it and see what that's about. And look at that, it appears to be a door or a gate. And yet another ladder. And here we are at a save point. We do have a boss coming up, but I think we're going to save that for next time now. So I'm going to finish things off here. Thanks for joining me, guys, and don't forget to just hit that like button as well. It does support me, and I'll see you soon as we continue on with more Final Fantasy VIII. Take care, bye for now.